World's Strongest have congregated once again in Columbus, Ohio for their annual test of what is possible. Over the next 48 hours, we will push the limits of the human body at an event named for a man synonymous with strength. Welcome to the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic inside the Greater Columbus Convention Center. We welcome you here to our Rogue Iron Games set alongside Dr. Bill Crawford. I'm Sam Farber. It is a pleasure and a privilege to have you with us here today. Bill, I know this is an event that you have circled on your calendar all year long. The event, the time, has finally arrived.
The 10 greatest strength athletes we could get together for the Strongman are here. They've been preparing all year. They had to train to get here and to qualify. It's now or never. This weekend is it.
By the numbers, this is one of the biggest sporting events in the world. But in 2020, the state of Ohio has issued a health order to protect against the spread of the coronavirus. This means the Arnold Fitness Expo has been canceled, as well as general spectators from watching the event. It'll certainly have an impact on some of the environment surrounding these athletes, but what they're able to accomplish on the competition floor should not be affected.
These are professionals. The money's the same. The title's the same. The prestige is the same. This competition actually even affects next year's Arnold Strongman Classic in that if you win, you get an automatic qualification to come back next year. So this sets up their whole season.
And we've seen that already become a factor in qualifying here in 2020. Let's take a look at the 10 athletes who were able to punch their ticket and make it here to Columbus, Ohio for the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic.
My name is Hafthor Bjornsson. I'm from Iceland.
I'm Mateusz Kieliszkowski from Poland.
Jean-Francois Caron. I'm from Canada.
Martins Licis. I'm from California.
Jared Pritchett, USA.
Alexei Novikov. I'm from Ukraine.
Bobby Thompson. I'm from Fredericksburg, Virginia.
I'm Mateusz Kieliszkowski from Slovenia.
Rob Kearney. I'm from Massachusetts.
Mikhail Shivlyakov, Russia.
Arnold Classic, it's one of the best competition in the world.
The 10 guys that are here this weekend are kind of considered the best of the best in the world to be on this stage.
So the events I'm looking forward to are the stone medley. We got 2 stones we need to press, 2 stones we need to load, and 1 stone we got to run 50 feet with.
You actually can get points by lifting each and every stones, but you want to be able to finish them all to get the most points in the fastest time so you can win the event.
So you got to be good at kind of it all.
Одно из моих лучших упражнений в этом году, как и в предыдущих, наверное, это переброс мешков.
Height has massive advantages in those events. You know, you look at Thor, somebody who's 6'9", he's literally a foot closer to the bar than I am.
My favorite event in this year, I think, Wheel of Pain.
But this year, everybody trained a lot. I think everybody will have a better result.
I practice more Wheel of Pain because last year I trained only one time.
You need to have good mobility in the shoulders so you can be locked out and stacked up in a straight line from hands to hip.
I think this year the best athlete on deadlift will be Hafthor Bjornsson. He have chance to do 500 kilo more.
I've been chasing a 1,000-pound deadlift this year. I made it known at the beginning of the year that that was the goal by the end of this year.
My best here is 1031, so if I could better that, I'd be really happy.
I just want to do the frame carry as good as I can. I will give my everything.
I'm excited. That's one of my favorite events. I've won it the last 2 times we had it without straps.
So Mateusz is a legend in his frame carry speed. It's unrivaled.
Martins told that he won't beat me in frame this year.
If there's an event that I really want to beat him at and push my body to its limits, it's the frame carry.
Good luck.
Bring it on, Mateusz.
Being able to showcase my overhead pressing abilities with a dumbbell on the stage Saturday night at the finals is something I'm really looking forward to.
Cleaning the dumbbell is also a big problem, but I can press it if it's on my shoulder.
For sure, I want to go to maximum here and press the biggest dumbbell here.
Going into a big competition like this, you have to be smart, making sure you do no mistakes so you're always able to place high in each and every event.
Looking at the field, who are some of your favorites?
Obviously, we have to look at Hafthor Bjornsson. He's a 2-time champion, and he wants a 3rd title. Hafthor is a complete strongman. He's got great endurance, great static events. He's got great athletic ability, and he's very experienced.
Looking at the rest of the field, Martins last year not necessarily a huge shock that he did as well as he did, but to jump into the second place position, that was very impressive. Who's someone else in the field that might be a dark horse to do the same?
Well, you have to look at Mateusz Kieliszkowski. He is the future of strongman in my book. He was a second place finisher at World's Strongest Man this past year. So the stone events are going to be great for him. The pressing events are going to be great for him as well. He's very athletic.
When we return, the 10 strongest athletes in the world have their first event. Trial by Stone is next at the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic.
The 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic on CBS Sports is sponsored by Theragun. Change the way you move. GoRuck. Founded by a Green Beret, GoRuck is an American brand with Special Forces roots. And by Rogue. Don't weaken.
We're back in Columbus, Ohio, home of the Arnold Strongman Classic, and this year's Classic begins with Event 1, Trial by Stone, presented by GoRuck. The first 4 stones are shaped after the historic Inverse Stone in Scotland and made from white granite. The 5th stone is a replica of the famous Husafell stone in Iceland, using stones sourced from the same farm where the Husafell stone comes from. Rogue made a near identical replica of the original's weight, shape, and size. It is a masterpiece of stone carving. And this is a little bit different here in 2020 in that it is not just a stone lifting event, but it's kind of a medley. It's going to test these athletes in different ways than maybe this type of apparatus has in the past.
Yes, so the trial by stone, you have to lift 5 stones as quickly as possible, but there's a medley of pressing and then loading, and then an endurance event with carrying the Husafell slab.
There are 3 different ways you have to tackle these stones. First up, you have the 275-pound stone and the 300-pound stones. These are overhead lifts. 1 point for the first stone, 2 points for the second. Then you get into the stone onto the barrel segment of it. The weights go to 365 and 400 pounds, 1 point and 2 points for the successive stones. And then finally, the Husafell stone. Getting it out of the start box is 1. Carrying it the full 50 feet will get you 3 points. It's going to be a very grueling, taxing event on all of these athletes. We are ready to get things going. Jerry Pritchett, one of the older competitors in the field at 39, but one of the strongest with brute strength as well. Here he is on the 275-pound stone, fairly easy to the chest, and easy as you like overhead.
I like it.
Now 300 pounds, this would give him the early lead.
Jerry's a staple on the top level strongman circuit, and he's showing you why.
Seems like the press is the easy part.
He got the down, that's great. Pushing his feet down, he's trying to get an efficient lift up to his lap.
Hafthor Bjornsson is next up to the competition floor. He will be directly after Jerry Pritchett, who is bypassing the 400-pound stone. He's got 3 points in the bag already. He's your current leader, and we'll see what he can do with the Husafell stone. If he's able to lift that 409-pound stone and just get it out of the start box, he'll get 1 point. If he can complete the course, he'll get 3 points and double his score.
Well, the Arnold's known for being the heaviest competition, and you can see those stones are a testament to that. He's got it up. Here he goes. Here he goes.
He's out of the box. Can he make it the full 50 feet?
I think he's got it. He's moving his feet. He's breathing. He's got a good handle on the stone. He got it.
3 points. Doubling his score. Jerry Pritchett is your leader. 7 points total.
Great run by Jerry.
He will just chuck it at the end, much like he did with those early stones up to 300 pounds. So 7 points on the board for Jerry Pritchett. He's your current leader, and now your defending champ, Hafthor Bjornsson. The Mountain will take on Trial by Stone, presented by GoRuck.
Hafthor's Icelandic, obviously. Icelanders can lift stones.
The Mountain is the favorite to at least end his heat as the leader. We'll see if he can make that a reality.
Making that thing look like a pebble. Super efficient lift up. Position. Even though his wide shoulders are there, outside of the stone, he just shot it right up.
1 point on the board. Now the 300-pound stone.
Easy. He looks like he could do this all day.
That one came off his shoulder a little bit on the descent. Didn't phase him. A 300-pound stone. Now 365 easily onto the barrel. 400 pounds.
One of the great stone lifters ever. Makes quick work of the 400. Now he's down to the Husafell stone. He's under a minute. I thought he was going to go under a minute, and I think he's going to do it. He's got about 15 seconds. Quick lift up to his lap. Here he goes.
Does he have the grip on the Husafell stone? He's making his moves, being a little careful here. Make sure he doesn't drop it early, and he puts it down under a minute.
Under a minute. That's what I was talking about. I thought he would go through this medley under a minute. Fantastic.
Your two-time defending champion making a statement, going under a minute.
I have to say that I was expecting him to do well, but that might be a little better than I was expecting.
So we've got our first perfect run in the books, and time is only a factor for other athletes who have it, including Mateusz Kieliszkowski, his 6th appearance here at the Arnold Strongman Classic, and he's a pretty young competitor to have already been here 6 times. I think at one point he might have been seen as the future of the sport, and he probably still is.
I say he still is. He just needs a little more time to get that, what we call old man strength, maturing as a strength athlete.
Trial by stone underway. Kieliszkowski.
I expect that. An excellent press. So at 10 seconds, he's got the first 2 stones done. This is going to be the tail of the tape right here. How well does he get this stone up? Very good. Excellent.
Faster on the first 2 stones, maybe a bit slower here, getting them to the barrel, but able to complete the 400-pound stone, and now it's the Husafell stone.
He got that one. He was really worried about that 4th stone, but obviously, you know, I didn't think that would be a problem for him because last year he shouldered that stone 5 times. It weighs more than that. Here he comes. He's going to be under a minute. He looks like he's going to be closer to 50 seconds.
Kieliszkowski
moving his
sets the new time to beat.
Wow. Unbelievable. 10 points, perfect score, and the fastest time so far. Very efficient lifts to the chest. You can tell that it's not a challenge for him getting his hands under and just almost in one movement.
A little bit more pace to getting these onto the barrel with the heavier stones.
Yes, and had a great walk. You can tell he's really digging his fingers into the stone, hanging on. He's trying to outwalk his grip. Excellent, great event.
When we come back, can the current world's strongest man keep up with the leaders in the trial by stone as the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic continues? Welcome back to the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic presented by Rogue. We're now halfway through the first event, trial by stone. Mateusz Kieliszkowski and Mikhail Shivlyakov, both dealing with injuries, were only able to press the first stone. Amateur champion Bobby Thompson pressed the heavier of the first 2 stones in his Arnold Strongman Classic debut. Alexei Novikov completed the Husafell stone carry and 4 of the 5 stones overall. And 9-time Canada's strongest man, J.F. Caron, made an impressive showing, completing the entire event in over 2 minutes.
Next up is Rob Kearney, his first appearance at the Arnold Strongman Classic, winner of the Arnold Strongman Australia. 28 years old from Massachusetts, and one of the most colorful competitors here, obviously with the hairdo.
Aside from the, the kind of colorful persona, he's actually a minimalist in the way he trains. He's very, very proficient. Excellent lift. Wow. I think that was the best one with that. We've seen some good lifts with that.
Kieliszkowski went a bit faster through these first 2 lifts, but in terms of efficiency, you're right. Kearney right there, and a little struggle there at the top on the 300-pound stone.
And he can't rush. He's got to just get it over his head.
Does get credit for the 300-pound stone. So he's up to 3 points next to the barrel on 365.
That was head judge Carl Gillingham giving him the pass on that one. Nice lift, very good lift.
Has that little bump at the end. Hafthor has almost a full foot on Rob Kearney, so just lifting this to the chest might not be enough. He's got to get that little extra bit of effort to get it atop the barrel.
Notice he's reading the stone. We're talking about the 3 keys to success. The first is just reading the stone, getting it off the ground, getting your hands in the best spot. There he goes, he turned the stone. A little shorter arm, so he made it where a purchase was more available for him. Look at that.
Beautiful lift, Rob Kearney.
That man is thinking. Love it. That's great.
Has a chance now not to take the event lead, but to still have a perfect run in terms of points. And that is going to be a big separator here early in this competition. Husafell Stone, 409 pounds.
If I were Rob, I would do exactly what he's doing. He slowed down a little bit, he took his time, and he's getting all the stones. He's still under 2 minutes. That's still a really fantastic time. He would only be the 3rd man to complete the course. Hang on to it, Rob. You got it. Keep moving your feet.
Trying to maintain that grip. Final few feet and welcoming himself into the competition. Rob Kearney able to complete the course.
Wow. That is commitment. You've got to come out here ready to give that kind of effort. I really loved what he just did. He's pressing his fingertips into that stone. They're sliding, slipping. He's moving his feet because moving your feet is distance. And then he totally commits to getting it over that line. Wow.
Thus far, only 3 men have been able to take it through all 5 of our stones here in Trial by Stone presented by GoRuck. And we expect this to be the 4th man to do it and maybe set the time to beat last year's runner-up, Martins Licis. He is ready to begin his run. 53.72, the time to beat, set by Kieliszkowski. And here he goes. 275.
Wow.
Up easily.
Jams it overhead.
300 pounds.
Notice how he's rolling the stone. That's his way of reading it overhead.
A little bit of a delay here.
A little bit of mistake. Always stumbling with this.
And this could cost him, unable to get that 300-pound stone. That almost makes it impossible for him to match the time set by both Bjornsson and Kieliszkowski.
But it can still finish, and that's the key. Notice how he spins the stone. That's his way of reading it and getting it overhead. So he did get the stone over his head in control.
Next up, 365 pounds.
I expect him to do quite well with both these loading stones. He's very good at that. That's the event that he finished up World's Strongest Man last year to win.
400 pounds next.
Pushes his feet through very efficient reads. Very good reads, very efficient lift up. Got it right on the box. Now, here's the experience. He knows that if he rushes, he might not have the best time. So he knows he's not first or second. He's going to take his time. He's got about a minute to get through this.
And he's only got a minute to do the stone. So
correct.
Finishing here means he'll be in 3rd position. And a little stumble out of the gate.
Yes, he needs a better purchase on the stone. See, his fingers are sliding. But he's locking his wrists into it. He's moving his feet. He's trying to outrun that grip.
Martins Licis inches away. Can he get there?
No. He came up short. It landed just short. He can pick it up and bring it back to the original area. It seems he's talking to him.
He's asking, did he make it there? And the judge
said he's done.
So 1 point for that final lift. He will not get the full 10. And for the moment, that still has him in the top 4. But had he made it that extra couple of inches, he would have been in 3rd.
Yes, you could see his hands when he got his hands on the stone, that it expended so much energy. Maybe sweating, and the stone's very slick. He just fell short with that one, so that puts him, I believe, in 4th.
But the winner is Mateusz Kieliszkowski. Kieliszkowski standing by with our Kiki Dixon.
What did you like best about this event?
Oh, it's totally new events. I never expect that I can win this. Because if I be honest, I didn't train this event. I trained only overhead press. It was a good surprise for me. I'm really happy because I won this.
The winner is Mateusz Kieliszkowski with that 10-point finish. Rob Kearney And JF Caron, in addition to Hafthor Bjornsson, also able to complete the course. And then Mateusz Licis outside of the top 4.
Next, can anyone top the mountain in bag over bar? Find out when the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic returns.
Event 2 ready to get underway here at Arnold Strongman Classic in Columbus, Ohio. It is bag over bar presented by Theragun. Let's take a look here at the format coming up here. Everyone's got to start with the 55-pound bag, but that's where things start to get into the psychology of it all. You can choose to bypass a bag. Problem is, you can't go backwards. So if you go from 55 to, say, 70 pounds and fail there, the only thing you get credit for is the 55-pound bag. 30-second time limit per bag. Lifting these bags is not the issue. It's the angle of the launch for each and every one of these athletes.
Mikhail Shivlyakov got things started with the 55-pound sandbag, an impressive performance with his injured ankle. Jerry Pritchett, Bobby Thompson, Alexei Novikov, and Rob Kearney were also able to get the 55-pound bag over the bar, but none of the heavier ones. Collectively, they end their performance with a 4-way tie. The rest of the field, however, were successful as we pick up the competition.
Shivlyakov is now going to make his first attempt since the 55-pound bag, and he's going to start at 70.
Those lifting shoes giving some stability with that ankle problem.
Oh, does not get the roll. He was well over the bar, just didn't quite have the angle. Plenty of time. And a better angle there.
Great throw, great toss.
Shivlyakov is going to keep the pressure on. JF Caron is next at 70 pounds.
JF was looked really strong in his first throws.
Easily over at 70. Because we've had a lot of athletes tie for 6th, real opportunity for a lot of guys to put some serious distance between themselves and the rest of the field. This will be a big move for a couple of our athletes. Right now, Mateusz Licis at 70. Got it!
That looked better than the other ones. He's been sandbagging, if I can say that. That was great.
Now Kieliszkowski at 70, which means that Hafthor Bjornsson is skipping this weight. Solid toss at 70 for Kieliszkowski.
Here we go.
Now we'll jump to 75 pounds, and Hafthor Bjornsson will make the attempt. Whoever's had the most rest time leading into the weight that they are attempting,
correct,
goes first. And Hafthor might be waiting around a while. 75 pounds.
I just have to laugh a little bit because, folks, that's really, really hard. That's a 75-pound bag, and he blew it away. He probably threw it 17+ feet over.
Bill, JF Caron is coming up next, which means Shivlyakov is skipping this bag.
JF he's from what some people call the cradle of strongmen, Quebec. On the stage, they're talking about Louis Cyr. I was up in Quebec with Magnus a couple of times watching the competitions there.
75. Wow. Caron matching Hafthor Bjornsson. Mateusz Licis is next at 75. Taking a moment. Start the clock. 30 seconds. He looked very good on his last throw, and here at 75 doesn't quite get the roll.
He is squatting down, getting a little more depth with his hips and exploding upwards.
It'll be his final attempt. Licis, little short. So he is stuck on 70. So that puts him in 5th place for the moment. Now, how many people will join him there is the question. Kieliszkowski, our leader after one event. He's going to need another attempt.
Needs to step back just a little bit. Look how he squats down and gets those hips really deep. And with that height, that's just a great combination.
Got it on attempt number 2.
He's tall, he's super athletic, he's very explosive as we've seen. Fantastic.
Will we see a 90-pound bag over the bar? We're in a throwdown in the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic. Stream CBS Sports HQ, the completely free and always on sports news network for non-stop highlights, breaking news, and expert picks. Download the CBS Sports app on your phone or connected TV to watch today. Welcome back to the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic presented by Rogue. We're halfway through bag over bar. These strongmen throwing bags cut and sewn at Rogue right here in Columbus, Ohio. Each bag is 12 inches in diameter, 13 inches in length, and made from ultra-durable 1000D Cordura. And in 2017, Hafthor Bjornsson broke the world record when he threw a 100-pound bag over the 15-foot bar. Will that record be broken today?
So now we jump to the 80-pound bags, and Mikhail Shivlyakov will make the attempt. And this is big here because, again, if he fails to do this, he'll fall into that tie with Licis. If he exceeds it, Martins is locked in at 5th place. Every point so crucial looking ahead here in this competition.
Absolutely, every point is valuable, and he's trying to make up some distance here.
Shivlyakov on one leg.
Wow, love it. Squatting down really well. Look how he throws his hands over his face.
Now J.F. Caron will make the attempt at 80 pounds.
He's just trying to get that first one over. Oh,
that's
right
about
there.
As close as you can get. Has time to make one more attempt, and he's being patient, not seeing the rush up to the bag. He knows exactly how long he has.
Come on, JF. He can get this.
At 80. No. Stopped at 75. Back-to-back top 4 finishes. I believe Hafthor Bjornsson is elected to skip 80 pounds, so Kieliszkowski is up next here. First attempt on 80 pounds, did not quite have the angle.
It gets a little heavier and the athletes rush it a little bit, and then when you rush it, you don't extend yourself all the way and it falls forward. It peaks in front of the bar.
Can he keep the pressure on Hafthor? 80 pounds, no.
That's really big for Hafthor because Shivlyakov
is already between them.
Yes, Shivlyakov is creating space.
Caron and Kieliszkowski currently in a tie for 3rd.
Icelanders are great at getting psyched up. They're very quiet people usually, but they come to life. They get their Viking personalities.
85 pounds.
I just have to laugh. That's incredible. It's just so easy. He didn't really look like he even threw it into another gear.
So Mikhail Shivlyakov will step up next to the bar. He is dealing with that injured ankle. The fight has been impressive, and it will continue.
Wow. That is so great. So Hafthor's got to go up again. Hips are down, a little bit of a hop, lots of explosion, got the roll. He does everything technically you need to do.
Hafthor Bjornsson pushed to 90 pounds, asking for the strongest fans in the world here, who are competitors from other events due to recent international events limiting the crowd here in Columbus, Ohio. They know how impressive this is. 90 pounds, he's got it.
Wow. See, he's pulling out a gear.
Mikhail Shivlyakov is up next, making an attempt at 90 pounds. Mikhail Shivlyakov.
He's a Russian. Russians are explosive. They're great history in dynamic sports like Olympic lifting.
Short on his first attempt, and they're going to bring the bag to him. Trying to psych himself up for one more toss. Only has a 30-second window. This will be his last attempt. And it's not going to happen. He tops out at 85 pounds, but on one ankle, he takes second in bag over bar.
Fantastic effort. But nobody's better in the world at this than Hafthor Bjornsson.
We'll update the standings in just a moment, but right now we want to throw it to Kiki Dixon, who's standing by with the mountain.
Now, when you come onto the competition field to play, how much is done to plan and how much is done by feel?
I would say, I always, I have a goal, I have a plan, but I also play it by the ear as well, It's always good to have a strategy going into a big competition like this, but plans can always change in the middle of the competition.
All right, one more event to go. We look forward to seeing you out there.
Thank you, thank you.
The mountain sailing over the competition in event 2. He takes first place. An injured Mikhail Shivlyakov finishes second in a gutsy performance. After 2 events, Hafthor Bjornsson leads Mateusz Kieliszkowski, but by only 1.5 points, with 2/3 of the competition still remaining. Next at the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic, the biggest implement ever created in the sport of strongman, the legendary Wheel of Pain. Day 1 of the Arnold Strongman Classic is about to come to a close here in Columbus, Ohio. But before we reach the finale of our day, we have maybe one of the most highly anticipated events in all of strongman, the Wheel of Pain. Designed and engineered by Rogue, there is nothing like it anywhere in the world. Weighing over 20,000 pounds, the Wheel of Pain is constructed from 12-inch pine logs, steel, and decorative oak. And using Rogue tumblers filled with sand for resistance, it makes it hard to gain any momentum. How far can you push this medieval apparatus of torture? And that's going to be the factor here.
Absolutely, it's the most epic strongman implement in the history of strongman. It's massive, it's beautiful, and it's absolutely torturous. They go one athlete at a time. The competitors push the wheel as far as they can for 60 seconds. It's measured on a dial around this, and the farthest distance wins. It's purely simple and absolutely tough.
Mateusz Kieliszkowski will be up first, getting final instructions from head judge Steve Slater. And here he goes.
Notice how he's got good leverage. He's got his hips down. He's pushing hard. He's keeping forward motion. We talked about mental toughness being part of this as well. Great effort so far. Got his arms extended. He's locked under it with great leverage. Imagine a football player getting under someone to block them. This is sort of what that would look like.
Typically you see in those videos the 5 offensive linemen pushing the one coach on top of the blocking sled. This is the coach pushing the offensive line now.
Yes. 20,000 pounds. He's allowed to put his shoulder against it as long as he keeps his hands on the ropes. Inch by inch. Every inch is valuable. You don't know what inch is going to be the inch that takes over.
Final 5 seconds. Fighting for every inch he can.
Fantastic effort from him overcoming this injury at this point.
Mateusz Kieliszkowski.
Great start. Now we're down to mental toughness. The leverage and everything else goes out the window. It's just, what do you want to achieve? Fantastic effort from Mateusz.
Alexei Novikov, someone you thought was going to perform very well, particularly in trial by stone. He finds himself right now in 7th place, only 9.5 points so far. If he's going to make a run at the podium, he needs a good performance here.
But he does have great strength endurance ability.
There he goes. 1 minute on the clock. The Wheel of Pain underway for Alexei Novikov from Kiev, Ukraine. Has that positive experience in 2019, the first year of the Wheel of Pain.
He's got some pretty big steps going on. It looks like he's got some momentum based on speed, and he looks to be a little ahead of the other athletes. Slowing down a little bit. There he goes to the shoulder. Right at about 30 seconds, the other athletes have found themselves in the same spot.
Seems to be going to it a little bit earlier. Is that him just kind of knowing with his experience when to make that alteration?
Yes, his shoulder's fatigued a little bit, keeping it moving. The leverage has changed a little bit. Now this is the mental approach. This is the mental toughness that we were talking about.
Seems to be getting stronger as he goes here. Final few seconds. Trying to get a little more momentum. Every inch counts. And he goes all the way around.
Fantastic. That puts him in the lead. Great leverage early on, then he changes up and puts his shoulder on it. That's wanting that every inch because he knows how important it is for the points. Fantastic.
Martins Licis last year, our runner-up. Only 10.5 points for him through 2 events. A bit disappointing.
This is right in his wheelhouse. This is strength endurance. He's got mental toughness to spare. Here he goes, starting off with his hands out. Long, long steps. He says you can get momentum on this if you get the sand moving in the right direction, and that's what he proved last year. We'll see if he goes to the shoulder in a little bit. Excellent leverage, keeping his feet moving. He's around the 30-second mark. This is where most of the athletes have actually put their shoulders onto the implement.
He is making really good time. Fast approaching that 160 range.
Look at the length of his strides. Look at the length of his strides. That is unbelievable. He's got some momentum here late.
About 10 seconds remaining. New mark to beat is set. How far can he go?
Right to the end. Wow. That was a great effort. Mental toughness is his forte. He lives in his own head. Like we talked about before, Martins is like the night of the living dead. He just keeps coming and you can't push him off.
Next up, it's the top of the leaderboard versus the Wheel of Pain as the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic continues.
The 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic on CBS Sports is sponsored by Theragun. Change the way you move. GoRuck. Founded by a Green Beret, GoRuck is an American brand with Special Forces roots. And by Rogue. Don't weaken.
The Wheel of Pain continues here at the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic presented by Rogue. Some other competitors have attempted the Wheel of Pain, but none were able to match Martins Licis, who has the current lead. But will that hold?
JF Caron is up next. Currently in 3rd place, 14.5 points.
This is going to be an event that he needs to have a great effort for, because tomorrow we have a couple events he's quite good at, like deadlift and the frame carry. So starting with extended hands, really long strides. Look at his quadriceps engaging. Moving his feet, already slowing down a little bit, deciding that longer strides might be the way to go a little bit. He's got those great shoulders, all that strength in his shoulders, but I wonder if he's going to go to the shoulder. He needs to have a little more effort here. It's already halfway.
This is a 10-ton apparatus.
I know, it's easy for us to say, right? That sand's shifting back because the speed's slowing down and it might stop. There he goes. He's got to almost restart. What a tough, tough thing to do. Almost restart when he changed that technique.
10 seconds left. He is just now passing Mikhail Shivlyakov. This is going to be a standings-altering performance, to say the least, and maybe not in the best way for JF Caron.
So notice that he had good leverage, but his feet did slow down some. When he changed off to the shoulder technique, it almost stopped, and he had to restart, and that takes a ton of energy. But again, that mental toughness to keep pushing through.
Mateusz Kieliszkowski is next.
He really wants to beat Martins so he can keep that pace with Hafthor. He wants to get up into the first place mark at this point.
Second to last competitor. He came into this event with 17.5 points, so he has to finish 2 spots ahead of Hafthor Bjornsson to pass him at the end of day 1.
There he goes. Look, he's got a lot of momentum going. Wow, that is moving really quickly. If you could see it in person, it's really moving fast right now. That's about the fastest I've ever seen it move, actually.
I agree with you.
He's only 20 seconds in, and he's already passing people.
His strides are just longer. He is strong for the strong men.
Yes, long strides. Look at him. He's applying those quads and those calves. He looks like Arnold in the movie.
No after effects here.
There we go. He's approaching the leader. He's got it 15 seconds
still.
Great performance. He still had his hands out even. There he goes. He's got it.
Final 5 seconds. Where can he put the mark to beat?
This is a ton of pressure on Hafthor. That's a great performance. Wow. Wow. Ton of pressure on Hafthor. That's unbelievable. Great leverage, and he keeps his feet moving, but he had those great strides initially. He's using those powerful quadriceps and calves. Fantastic.
Next up is Hafthor Bjornsson.
Let's see if Hafthor can pull out a tremendous performance.
And the mountain is ready to tackle the Wheel of Pain. Here we go.
He's trained really hard on these types of implements. Great foot movement. He's got great leverage. Long, long, long strides.
Doesn't appear to have it moving quite as fast as Kieliszkowski did, but he's moving it pretty darn well.
He's moving it very well. Not only that, he's continuing it moving. He's only 30 seconds into it.
This is where Kieliszkowski started to slow just a bit.
As Hafthor has, but he's continuing that leverage. This is when you dig down and take home more points.
If he can pass Licis, he will stay in first place overall. 10 seconds left.
He wants to win this event. He's almost there.
He's got second in the event, and that's gonna have to be good enough. It's an event win for Mateusz Kieliszkowski, but overall,
does not appear to have passed Martins.
Did not get to Licis. My apologies. He was past Novikov's spot and comes up just shy of Martins Licis. So that means a 3rd place finish for Hafthor Bjornsson. And unofficially, that means Mateusz Kieliszkowski will start day number 2 in first place.
So he kept his arms out. He kept great leverage. His feet did slow. Maybe later on he thinks about it and says, maybe I should have put my shoulder against it, but he had a great effort.
The Wheel of Pain in the books. Based off the numbers we can compile so far, it looks like Mateusz has done enough to put himself back in first place in the competition.
He really needed this effort on this event and not letting Hafthor create more space. He caught him.
And let's go to the competition floor. Mateusz Kieliszkowski standing by.
Mateusz, you've obviously got the magic touch with the Wheel of Pain. What's the secret here?
I train special because everybody push yoke in gym. Me, my training was much different because I have small track, put weight, extra weight on the top, and push this track uphill all time. I have different training, but it's work.
It worked indeed. Mateusz Kieliszkowski with that performance gets the full 10 points. And because Hafthor Bjornsson did not get past Martins Licis, we'll see our overall standings shift at the end of day 1. 3 events in the books, and it's Mateusz Kieliszkowski's consistency, winning 2 events, putting him in the lead. The mountain, though, only a half point back, still in great position for his 3rd straight title. On day 2 of the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic, our Titans will be tasked with the elephant bar deadlift, the timber carry, and the sear dumbbell challenge. And most importantly, we will learn who will be crowned champion of the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic.
Coming up next, it's PGA Tour Originals X Factor presented by Highland. For Dr. Bill Crawford and our entire crew, I'm Sam Farber. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports in association with Rogue Fitness.